Wolverhampton Wanderers currently sit in last place in the Premier League. They just keep losing again and again and again. And they used to be good. They used to fight for the Europa League like every season. They had some of the best players like Ruben Neves and Raul Jimenez. So let's get Wolverhampton Wanderers back to where they were. This is the Wolverhampton Wanderers rebuild on FC 26. Before the video starts, can you please make sure to like, comment and share on this video, and please subscribe to the channel as it will help the channel so much. Thank you guys so much. So here we go. We're now going to take over Wolverhampton Wanderers, sitting last place in the Premier League. We move over for a 3-4-2-1 formation, which, surprise, surprise, doesn't save Wolverhampton Wanderers at all. We are going down with Wolverhampton Wanderers in the Premier League. We're going to be spending our first proper season with Wolverhampton Wanderers in the Championship, which is the worst thing that could happen. Although we're bringing in people like Cooper and Henry, we have to sell people like Andre. We have to sell people like Breno, Mascara, Bentley, Breno, Wolf, people like Manseri, Totti, Lopez, Sarr, Ajbadu, Bellegarde, Juan, Arias. But we were able to bring in Jesse Lingard, Max Bird and Kieran Morgan, as well as Lambert after selling Larson and Gomez respectively. So it's a worse squad, but we have to rely on the people who was out on loan last season, as well as people who don't get the chances in the team. We just got to give them the chance, as well as our new striker, Ribeiro, up front. And the first season, I'll admit, it didn't work out as much as I wanted it to. I mean, we beat Cardiff on the final day, but we finished in a respectable 11th place in the Championship. But next season, we're bringing in people like Beadle, Lumley, Sims, Sousa, Vittel, Hua, Fernandez is gone, Johnston's gone. So it's Henry, Morgan, Lima on loan, Mane on loan, as well as Morgan out on loan. But the reason we are at Crown Lane facing Wrexham is because if we win, we get second place in the Championship, which, if you know how the Championship works, that means we are going back up to the Premier League after 2 seasons in the Championship. And nothing really happens in the first half, I'm not going to lie, but in the second half we had to make changes. So Gonzalez, Chiera and Harvey Griffith will be coming on in the second half. If we can't rely on the people that we brought in, we can rely on the people that was here at the start, as well as bringing on people like Boubacar Traoré and Nigel Londwick, people who are currently at Wolves out on loan in real life, getting a chance at Wolves in the Championship. And it's Traoré, the person we brought off the bench, through to Ribeiro, who actually manages in the 88th minute to get our final win in the EFL Championship, needed to get promoted to the Premier League on our second attempt in the Championship. Our technical third season with Wolves, our second proper with Wolves, and we are back in the Premier League using mainly talents that we had when we went down out on loan. Of course, I do want to thank people like Ribeiro, Max Bird, Beadle, all them lot who came with us as we do finish second in the league. But before that, Beadle got +7 to make him an 81 overall. That's absolutely amazing. So our first season back in the Prem, we did have to rely on a bunch of free agency, but we also did bring in people like Sarr, had to sell a bunch of players that I know wouldn't make it in the Prem. Thank you for your service back in the Championship. But believe it or not, we actually did enough, get this, to get 7th in our first season back, which means we got Conference League football in our first season back in the Premier League, which is amazing. And we had to sell Doyle, bought in Vidigal. Doyle, thank you for your services for Wolverhampton. But this is when we bring in people like Bellingham, Devine. We bought back Fabio Silva. We bought in people like Arujo, Jonathan Rowe. Had to sell a couple of people, but it'll all make sense at the end of the episode why we did stuff like this and how it was absolutely worth it to make transfers like this at this point of the rebuild. Conference League time, 2-2 against Malmo, currently 4-3 against the Swedish side to get through to the next round. But we have to take a pit stop at Wembley Stadium to face Aston Villa in the EFL Cup final an all Midlands final here in London for the EFL Cup, a game which I'm sure if happened in real life I would lose my absolute mind at. But Lima takes a corner, and I don't even know how I scored this. I genuinely have no idea how I even managed to score that. I never scored from corners in FC 26 anyway, but to score a goal like that absolutely astonishes me. But you know what? I'll take it. I will 100% take it. 1-0 to Wolves in the final. But then, before we make our changes, watch this chance that Fabio Silva nearly scored for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Didn't work out in real life, but in this rebuild we're going to make it work, as we're going to be bringing on people like Robertson, Ablaster and Alan Minder, and Villa's going to bring on Illing Jr. Why he didn't start, I didn't know. But although the substitutions did nothing, they did enough to win our first piece of silverware in this FC 26 rebuild for Wolverhampton Wanderers, because it's Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Aston Villa 0, a really scrappy goal to win the EFL Cup for the Wolves. And here is Pedro Lima, who's been with us since season 1, stayed with us in the Championship, has seen the bad, but he is seeing the good tonight as he lifts the EFL Cup for Wolverhampton Wanderers in this FC 26 rebuild. Right, carrying on with the Conference League, got Polish side Lech Poznan, beat them 4-1 on aggregate. But then we got a really tough one. AC Milan, currently 3-2 up, and it was enough, 5-3 on aggregate, to get us through to the Conference League final. But before we get to that, we do have our final game in the league, 3-2 against fellow Midland side Leicester City, to finish second in the Premier League. Second season back in the Prem, we're now finishing second, but we're going to the East Point Arena for the UEFA Conference League final up against Spanish side Real Betis. Now, this rebuild has been really fun so far, but I feel like it's just all moving a bit too fast in my opinion, but that's kind of a good thing, because it's the Conference League final, and it starts off with Bernardo with the ball, passes it straight through to Alfie Devine, one of the greatest free agents that we have had in this rebuild so far, gets us the first goal, his second goal in the Conference League out of 13 appearances, which is a bit weak, but he showed up when he needed to. Not going to complain. 1-0 to the Wolves in the final. But then Fabio Silva gets the ball, has a really good shot, gets it past the Real Betis goalkeeper. 15 minutes in, 2-0 to the team that so far won the EFL Cup and finished second in the Premier League. 2-0 to the Wolves in this final. Half-time, 45 minutes till we get another hand on the trophy. But then 61 minutes in, we bring on Dennis Gull, Alex Robertson, Sandro Vidigal, Kieran Morgan and Alan Minder just to hold on for the next half an hour. And they nearly didn't, because I don't even know what happened here, mate. I have absolutely no idea why we're conceding goals like that inside of a European Cup final. But we still did, because it's Cuco Hernandez who gets his first goal and his first appearance for Real Betis in the Conference League. Why is he only playing now? Why is he only playing now? Doesn't matter, still 2-1 to the Wolves, as Morgan, who was here in the Championship as our backup midfielder in Season 2, passes it through to Goal, who gets the third and defining goal for Wolverhampton Wanderers in this rebuild. His second appearance for him, because Fabian Silva has been that amazing for us. But then right before the end, Hernandez gets the ball, passes it straight through to the Ukrainian to make it 3-2 in the Conference League final. And he should be getting the ball. In my opinion, he should be getting the ball, but he's not getting the ball. We just get the ball straight through to kick-off, just hold on to it, and with that, we have won the UEFA Conference League. Full-time, Wolverhampton Wanderers 3, Spanish side Real Betis 2 in the final. Absolutely amazing by us. Well done to the team, as here is the Wolves player lifting the UEFA Conference League for Wolverhampton Wanderers in this FC 26 rebuild. A fantastic job by the team for the whole entire season. Well done, lads. But then here we go, the trophy celebration for both the EFL Cup and the UEFA Conference League. But although we're celebrating right now, which is absolutely amazing, I know, and you know, there's still much more work to be done in this rebuild. But it doesn't stop there. We're bringing people like Kobe Manu, Andy Diouf, Mayenda, the return of Totti. Of course, we're able to sell a lot of players to bring in people like Kuriakias and Camuzzo to improve that defense, along with Giuliano Simeone at that new right mid position. So let's get through to the Champions League. 7-5 against Fenerbahce, Divine helping us in extra time. Next up, German side Frankfurt, currently 1-1. I thought we was going to get knocked out. Nope, 3-2 on aggregate to the Wolves. Next up, Manchester City, which was actually a bit of an easier game than I expected, even though we lost. And I wanted to get through to the final so much. I played the first leg against Real Madrid. We won 4-1. I don't care that I played it. I just want a chance to win the Champions League in one of these rebuilds, and I hope you understand that somewhat, because I haven't won the Champions League yet in one of these rebuilds. But something I have won in a rebuild before is the FA Cup, and we have got that today before the Champions League final up against Liverpool. A chance to maybe win the treble? I'll explain that after this. So it's Kobe Manu, gets the ball over to Fabio Silva, through to Alfie Devine, who gets the first goal in this FA Cup final. Also, in case you want to know how I got Manu for like 17 mil earlier, I traded that Bernardo guy that I had earlier in the rebuild. So that's why, just to let you guys know. But we're going to make some changes. So it's going to be Mayanda, Surgeon, Minna, Diouf, and the goalkeeper, Cone, who I really should have played in the final in the first place, coming on. But here comes Mayanda, who's got that pace, who we bought from Sunderland, who I know would have been a start coming off the bench, a reliable player coming off the bench. Makes my theory correct, as it is 2-0 to Wolverhampton Wanderers in this FC 26 rebuild. But that's going to be it. That is going to be enough to win our first piece of silverware in this season. Wolverhampton Wanderers 2, Liverpool 0. We win the FA Cup for the first time in this rebuild. Well done, lads. Absolutely well done. But here we go. We're now going to lift the FA Cup at Wembley Stadium with this new and improved Wolverhampton Wanderers side in this FC 26 rebuild. I have loved doing this rebuild. I have absolutely loved doing this rebuild. But as you can see, we're first with one game left to go. So let's go play that game against Chelsea. Alfie Devine passes it through to Silva, who's unfortunately offside. But it does go to show how good we are at attacking now, as Silva gets the ball, passes it through over to Jobe Bellingham, who gets his first goal that we have seen in this rebuild. Who needs Jude Bellingham when you have got Jobe Bellingham right in that midfield? Absolutely amazing. And one hand firmly gripped on the Premier League trophy for the first time in this rebuild. But then here comes Sarr, who has done absolutely amazing, has been here since the first season back in the Prem, scores the second, 32 minutes in to make it Chelsea 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2, as the bench is levitating above the seats, but regardless is still going crazy. And that's all we needed, because for the first time in an FC 26 rebuild, we have won the Premier League, and it is going to be with Wolverhampton Wanderers. Absolutely amazing. Well done by the team. Let's go finally lift the Premier League in one of these FC 26 rebuilds, as we have won the Premier League trophy with Wolverhampton Wanderers in FC 26. From getting relegated to winning the league. Yeah, crazy to think that in the first season we got relegated down to the Championship, and now we are playing in the Atletico Madrid Stadium to face FC Barcelona in the UEFA Champions League final. That is absolutely crazy to me. So let's go make it worth it, lads. As is Alfie Devine, who is one of the best free agents we have had in this rebuild. Passes it through to Fabio Silva, touches the goalkeeper's hands, but it doesn't even matter, because 7 goals, 17 appearances. We had to go through the knockout stages to get through to this point, but it is Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, FC Barcelona 0. Approaching half time, a very good result to have at half time. In the second half, it's going to be Sarr who gets the ball from Jonathan Rowe, who's been great in this rebuild, through to Fabio Silva, cuts through the Barcelona defence to make it Wolverhampton Wanderers 2, FC Barcelona 0. 17 appearances, 8 goals for the striker who couldn't make it work in real life at Wolverhampton Wanderers, making it work in this rebuild. And yeah, you know, Barcelona do have to get a goal back, which I think is absolutely fair. I mean, we ain't the most unstoppable team in the world. Fighting with the invisible man, apparently. But that's not enough for Barcelona to come back, because it is full time in the UEFA Champions League final. The Wolverhampton fans are going crazy in Spain because it's Wolverhampton Wanderers 2, FC Barcelona 1 in this FC 26 rebuild. We've achieved the highest point. Because here we go. We are going to lift the UEFA Champions League with Wolverhampton Wanderers in this FC 26 rebuild. The pinnacle of European football has been achieved with this Wolverhampton Wanderers squad. What a rebuild it has been for Wolverhampton Wanderers. I mean, look at this team. A team of absolute superstars that we have built with this team. What a rebuild it has been to do. What a rebuild it has been to enjoy. I thought it would have taken ages to get to this point, but nope, we are indeed treble winners in this rebuild. Treble winners, that's absolutely amazing. Like, comment, subscribe, and peace. So, you've reached the end of the video. Thank you. That actually goes a long way towards helping the channel. Thank you very much. I hope the video was fun. Hopefully, it was fun. Please make sure to check the other videos out on this channel, and please make sure to subscribe to the channel. It does help out a lot. Thank you.